Anunnaki beings. In our intergalactic conversations, we've discussed about Pleiadian and the Arcturian. Now we're going to dive into the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is associated with the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and it is associated with the cradle of life for humanity in our current view of creation and how humanity developed into a civilization. So we think as the Anunnaki as the engineers that brought humanity that was hunter and gatherers into humanity that has dynasty, that has empires. So Anunnaki is associated a lot of times with ancient Egypt, with the Sumerians, Babylonians, and all of these type of empires or dynasties that were experienced in this Middle Eastern world, even in association with Egypt, and even association with earlier African sort of dynasties that had its own sort of civilization of wealth and prosperity. So Anunnaki many times are associated with wealth and prosperity, okay? And when we think about the empires and the dynasties of this patriarchal age, which is 12,000 years, we're thinking a lot about generational wealth, prosperity, law and order, and we're thinking about authority figures such as a king, okay? And the Anunnaki very much brought their civilization and their system to Earth, okay? And they kind of trained humanity in their traditions, okay, and their view of how a system should be, what a civilization should look like. And as we know, through our interdimensional intergalactic conversations, that there are different types of systems, okay? There are different types of views of how a civilization should be. But Anunnaki in many ways is about the sort of glorification of the king, right? Or the priest, or the sort of elite, right? And the Anunnaki, their sort of energy tapping into it is very fierce. They're warriors. They're very much warriors and very militant as well, and authoritative. And there's a strong masculine energy. When I connect to Anunnaki, I see women even having a strong masculine energy, where there's a huge emphasis on the more patriarchal society, while Pleiadian has a more of a feminine society. Not in that, there's only women, right? Or that is just about more the arts than science, but it's about the divine feminine, which is really about the balance between masculine and feminine, okay? And the Anunnaki, there's a huge emphasis on the masculine, which is about the life force, the ego, the personal power, the I am, the sort of success and the accomplishment and the physical life force. And I think a lot of this patriarchal, the patriarchal system that we have for this past 12,000 years has been kind of mostly influenced by this Anunnaki interaction with humans in our not so late past. It's very recent past that we've had this Anunnaki interaction with humans. Pleiadian is much older, Taurian, Orion, much older. So the Anunnaki is seen as master builders, master engineers, master architects, and they're also seen as master of manipulation, okay, which is about programming, okay. I'm seeing the Cabal, I'm seeing the Merkaba. They know how to manipulate time and space, and they know how to manipulate, I'm hearing brainwash. They know how to brainwash, they know how to they know how to influence a timeline. So they know how to program the mind. So there's a lot of I'm seeing a lot of programming of the mind that they have done, even to their own people or their own beings. And they definitely have an elite system, okay, where, again, our system is interesting. Our system in this patriarchal age is very similar to the Anunnaki system, which has, again, the pyramid. The top of the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, is the elite, and people at the bottom are more seen as slaves. So originally, the Anunnaki kind of set us up in this patriarchal age after the fall of the last golden age, to have a slave system. So they kind of introduced that slave system when we think of, Egypt, especially with I'm seeing Africa as well. I feel like there was a slave system in Africa with the dynasties and empires in Africa, especially in the patriarchal age. Before that, I'm seeing that there wasn't really a slave system. I'm feeling that Anunnaki, the Anunnaki, I'm seeing that there's a division. Okay, I feel like there is Anunnaki who, again, create, more of a matrix, slavery, work slave type of society. And then there's another, I guess, division within the Anunnaki beings, where there's another Anunnaki group, I'll say, planet, that has completely restructured the system and is more in a Pleiadian kind of system. And the way there's more equality, there's more freedom, and I think this Anunnaki group dismantled slavery completely, and ended wars. I feel like Anunnaki, there was a lot of wars, a lot of wars, and I feel like this one group that maybe split or divided or civil war type of thing, they created their own type of world, and they completely abolished slavery, and they completely changed the system, in which there's more equality, and in doing so, they've cleared a lot of karma and cleared a lot of war. So, the Anunnaki, I don't know, I feel a lot of violence, I feel a lot of war-like mentality, war-like gods, right? Punishers, that will punish you like eye for an eye, I will punish you for your deeds, your sins, or, that kind of puts you in a prison, or puts you in a dungeon type of thing. And again, not all Anunnaki are like this, but there is a group that came to Earth long ago that kind of introduced this type of warlike behavior to Earth. And even now, I feel like they're evolving. They have been evolving, as everything is evolving. Nothing ever stays the same. They've been evolving more into healing their karma. I'm just seeing karma. There's karma there when the slavery, work slave, there's karma, the negative karma. I feel like they're clearing or healing from the karma of their past, especially their karma with planet Earth, because there's been a lot of suffering, a lot of trauma associated with this work slave, also the sort of removing of, I'm seeing divine feminine. There's been a removal of divine feminine within the system that was created. It was created to remove the divine feminine from leadership, so that the king could not be challenged by the divine feminine's leadership. Because in the Anunnaki, the women are actually fierce warriors, and there are a lot of kings, we'll say, that are actually women. There are actually full generations, centuries of leadership that are women. on Anunnaki at one point in their history. And there was a sort of removing of the divine feminine from the system, so that it's just men, or it's just the patriarch. And I'm seeing a lot of religion. I feel like a creation of organized religion, right, from the earliest times, which has to do with the God, and you must obey the God will punish you, the God will judge you, that kind of thing, so that you don't ever try to go against the God, right, which is, again, it's a manipulation tactic. Again, it's not good or bad, negative, positive, it's just, the universe, and there are different types of beings, okay, and we have different types of life lessons and karmic lessons and sort of evolutionary points within these different beings. So Anunnaki are more physical, okay, they fifth dimensional, real heavy fifth dimension. They're real heavy in the fifth dimension. They actually brought their planet, I'm seeing Nibiru. They brought Nibiru planet, they brought a whole entire planet to this system in the outermost orbit to watch. It's like the gods are watching you type of vibe, right? In the ancient time, I feel like it was like the gods are watching you, type of thing. So they and the thing is, they're master engineers, so they definitely know how to ship an entire planet from one system in a different galaxy into the system. I don't know how they do it, but they're, master at manipulation, but also with engineering, architecture, and travel. Okay, their ships are massive. They have ships that are cities, basically. And they have a huge population, okay? They have many populated systems, planets, and again, I feel like they left the system, or they were, I would say, the Intergalactic Confederation asked them to leave. Because Intergalactic Confederation has Anunnaki and Pleiadians and Arcturians and Reptilians, and they've asked the Anunnaki to leave, because the Anunnaki was, I'm just seeing, interfering with the natural progression of human beings, okay? Like, they had a huge influence because humans worshiped them. They looked at them as the god, and the Anunnaki kind of got off on that for a while, right? Because they got energy. When you worship something, you're giving it energy. So no wonder the Anunnaki had such big bodies, big energy, big auras, because they were, imagine millions of people worshiping you. That's a lot of energy that people are giving to you. So the Intergalactic Confederation came in and said, hey, you're interfering with humanity. We're grateful, helped to, present, civilization and how it works, but we need to let them figure it out on their own, because they need to go through their natural process. They need to decide for themselves. But what happened is that, Anunnaki, and then in the patriarchal age, reptilian came, because I'm seeing reptilians in my head. And again, reptilian, again, is like the reptile skin. It's like eyes, eyes like a reptile, like what do you call those, chameleon dragons? They're very reptilian brain-like, so very sexual, very like survival type of vibe. They need global warming because they actually need it warmer. They need a hot environment. Very interesting. And these, reptilians have had some kind of dealings with Anunnaki in the past, like some kind of I don't know, some kind of arrangement, some type of agreement where the ancient Egyptians had some kind of ties. I'm just going to say ties. I won't even say agreements. I would say ties with Anunnaki and the reptilian for some kind of, I'm seeing a battle. I don't know, I'm seeing a battle reptilian, Anunnaki, humans, some kind of battle about the direction of the earth, the direction of the system, or there was some kind of conflict about what direction humanity should go in ancient Egypt. Should it become more, I guess, liberal, or could it be more controlling? Okay, and I think there was some kind of battle about that. And I feel like there was, I don't know, there's some kind of battle or some kind of like people choosing sides. I don't know, civil war. I feel like there was some civil wars going on within Anunnaki beings and reptilian beings over what was happening. I think it had to do with humanity. It had to do with the fact that humanity was very like trauma. There's some suffering and trauma. And somebody had to take responsibility for that, because these beings that consider themselves God, or, you know, we call them gods. I don't know if, you know, and they just kind of, you know, fed into that. You know, they're the gods, they're the star beings, you know, my ego is, you know, huge type of thing, because I'm more sophisticated than you. I have more privilege than you, right? I have more access than you. And there was some karma. There was some karma with that. Okay, so now I feel the Anunnaki is still tied to us as humans because of the karma that was created. There was some kind of karma that was created between humans and Anunnaki in the ancient past. I'm seeing Egypt, Saudi Arabia, even I'm seeing China, okay? And Anunnaki also helped with China, Asia empires, okay? With the dragons, okay? The dragons is associated with the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, like, flew on dragons. I don't know if that's a metaphor or if that's an actual, right? But the Anunnaki were warriors. Of course, they probably had dragons, okay? So, you know, they had dealings with all kinds of regions on this planet and different kind of ethnic groups and different types of races, okay? But there was some kind of karma that was created. Now Anunnaki, I'm hearing, paying off debt. And, you know, they are still tied to humanity because of the trauma or some kind of interference that led into some kind of great suffering for humanity. And I think this is the time of the Moses. I'm seeing time of Moses, where, you know, Moses came in and he represents not just one, but many people, like light workers, came in to liberate the people from these centuries, maybe thousands of years of slavery, of humanity was so low, so in that poverty, so in that, like, you know, the God, and I'm just like a little weak, you know. Humanity got so emotionally, spiritually stagnant, so disconnected from humanity's purpose, which was to build up humanity's life force and spirituality, so humanity can really become, you know, become a very divine being. So, you know, humanity, instead of really focusing on becoming a divine being, they were focused on just feeding, you know, providing and serving the God. So, you know, we still have that today, where there's a lot of, like, you know, serve the God. But what happened is humanity stopped working on themselves. Humanity stopped working on one's own divinity that's within, not without, in a God. Divinity that's inside of you and your connection to the universe, your intuition. You are just as capable of greatness as the Anunnaki. You're just as capable of prosperity, wealth, creativity, intelligence. But humanity thought that it was less. And that was the greatest sort of suffering for humanity, because it stunned humanity. It kept humanity, like, stagnant for way too long. So intergalactic confederation, the allies came in, and they sort of brought in some light workers. They said, nope, humanity is not going to view itself as cattle any longer, right? Cattle meaning being used for, you know, one's own, like, mining for gold and, like, you know, basically doing the slave labor. That's not why humanity was created. But Anunnaki, in the last golden age, humanity went extinct. I wouldn't say completely extinct. I'm seeing Turkey. I feel Turkey, I don't know, I'm getting Turkey was the first geographic region to, I'm hearing, repopulate after the last ice age that happened. During the last, in the end of the last golden age. So this is probably maybe 14,000 years maybe. And after that golden age, I'm seeing the Leo age, okay? Something about Leo age with the start of patriarchal, start of Egyptian type of dynastic presence. But Turkey was the place where humans repopulated Earth. I'm seeing underground cities, humans living in underground cities for centuries, with the help of these, I'm hearing Anunnaki that actually want to help humanity, like, they actually support humanity's victory. They want humanity to rise into its divinity and recognize that God and me and God are one type of thing. Turkey was repopulated before, again, and when there's mass wipeout. This is doing with Noah's Ark, okay, when, and this was the start of the patriarchal age, the decline, right, where we are in a golden age. Major catastrophe could be the axis of I'm seeing the axis of the planet shifted about 15,000 years ago. That brought a huge ice age, huge catastrophe, huge floods, people, beings wiped out, people hungry, desperation, death, these type of things. And Turkey repopulated. Our beings helped repopulate Turkey. And then immediately the Anunnaki came and saw an opportunity to teach humans in the ways of themselves. Like, the kind of saying of, the view of God, right? Become like the God type of thing. Be like the God. So Anunnaki came at this time where humanity was very vulnerable, coming out of underground cities because the ice went or the floods went or death went away in general. And then Anunnaki kind of came, gave humanity like tools, some kind of basic technology to help them rebuild. And then humans thought, oh, this is the God, this is God right here. And Anunnaki kind of bought into that. And then over many centuries, humanity started to worship the Anunnaki and try to, instead of serving themselves and serving, their mission as a human being, which is beyond just, work slave stuff, they started to serve the Anunnaki, okay? And then that bled into, Middle East, it bled into, Africa and Asia as well, okay? And then, of course, Romans, going closer to our time right now, Romans, medieval, and then what we know today, which is very work slave, okay, type of the idea of civilization. So Anunnaki, again, they know a lot about evolutionary astrology. I'm seeing the Vatican. I'm seeing they know about cosmic events, and they know about, humanity. When it has knowledge of cosmic events, it can be, very sovereign, okay? So I don't know why I'm getting all this sort of, taking away the sovereignty of humanity for one's own agenda. I think the Anunnaki needed a lot of gold because Anunnaki's beings had such overpopulation on various planets. They had so much technology that, they needed energy and they needed gold, and they needed a lot of gold. So I'm seeing mining in Africa, gold mining. I'm seeing, I don't know, I'm getting Peru or somewhere South America. Because I'm seeing something about Peru, gold in the mountains of Peru. That even is a huge supply. I'm seeing gold in Africa, gold in Peru. And I'm hearing also Antarctica as well. In a time where Antarctica, I don't know if it was a continent that actually had, like in the Lemurian time, they were mining for gold on Earth since the beginning of Earth's type of development, right? For their civilization, for their population, and their mass technology. Because with mass technology, you need a lot of energy, and gold can provide sort of I'm hearing stabilizing force for energy. Consolidating energy, so energy doesn't burn up, energy can be distributed evenly, energy can be renewed, like it renews energy, like a recycling type of thing, a good conductor of energy, something like that. And also I'm hearing mica. I don't know what that necessarily is. I don't know if I'm seeing mica, and I'm getting connected to the Teotihuacan, and I'm seeing a Teotihuacan. Also, we use mica and use gold as a form of technology, as a way to sustain and consolidate technology, to harness. I'm hearing harnessing energy or something like that. And also for spaceships. These Anunnaki beings lived, I'm hearing, more than their means. They taught us to live more than our means, especially ancient Egypt. Anunnaki at this time hoarded a lot of the resources, even depleted geographic regions on this planet to basically harness that energy, and left it barren. And there's karma with that. So I feel like there's another, a civil war. There's another completely unique group of Anunnaki that has a very unique system, very different, and they're very supporting of humanity's development. It's a way to pay off karmic debt and to restore the balance of humanity, okay? But, humanity chose this, so it's not like we were forced. It was not like we could have been manipulated, but we still have a choice. That's about our life lessons. That's about our personal growth and discernment. Just because somebody says this, that, and the other doesn't mean you have to believe it. Just because someone says they're your God doesn't mean you have to believe it. So the great life lesson for humanity is about discernment, boundaries, and think for yourself. Okay, because, we chose the work slave stuff. We can say it's force, gun at the head type of thing, but in many ways, we chose it until we were awakened and we started to realize the karma, the never-ending karma, and the never-ending war because of the karma. Okay, and that was just destroying us. It was destroying us so much that we were delaying and halting and stunning our spiritual emotional growth. We were stunning ourselves. We were blocking ourselves from our ascension and keeping ourselves bound and trapped to this whatever, this earth, right? We were not becoming cosmic beings in that type of whatever conditioning that we allowed, that we put ourselves into. We were not becoming cosmic. We were very earthbound. We were stupid. We were codependent. We were weak emotionally, right? Until the light workers came, right? Where I see the 12 disciples came to teach us about our personal power, to teach us about the universe, so that we could remember that our mission is to be cosmic beings, sovereign cosmic beings, so that we can master the universe, because we are here on this earth to really bring about the Pleiadian agenda, or really bring about to bring enriching experience on earth. Okay, that's why a lot of beings are coming to earth, because earth has so much diversity. Earth is very special. Our DNA is so mixed with so many different, Arcturian, Pleiadian, Orion, Anunnaki, Lyran, all these different beings. And when we come to earth, we're coming to this threshold. This is like a threshold, for many, many different intergalactic beings. Negative, positive, whatever you want to say, this is the threshold. And this is the place where we can really develop we can really develop the earth angel, right? We can really develop our self knowledge, where we can really develop courage. Because humanity, the one thing about humanity, this Anunnaki channel, is about courage. Anunnaki it teaches courage. They teach courage. They teach sovereignty. They teach dignity. They will whip you into shape. Psychologically, metaphysically, spiritually, physically. The Anunnaki will test you. Okay, these are testers. They come to test you like the great judges. Okay, they will test you. They will break you down so that you can see your courage. Okay, so that you can become courageous, because the Anunnaki in its higher vibration is leadership. Anunnaki know how to lead. And human beings can lead as well. Okay? So, Anunnaki, the way they look, I would say they're kind of a humanoid. Okay, I don't really see, like, they're sort of a humanoid. Again, we are considered their descendants, but we're not only, there's other, extraterrestrial beings connected to us as well. But, yeah, they have a Middle Eastern vibe. Long chins, I'm seeing long chin, big forehead, larger face, sort of like large face. I see sort of elongated head, not too much. Very tall, very muscular, very thick, big boned for sure, big bone, kind of giant. They're the giants. So when we think of Egypt and, places in the Aegean Sea, islands, or even places found in Italy or even Asia, these giants, even in South America, giants, giant graves. These are the Anunnaki, as well as Orion. Again, Orion, came in to Earth during this Anunnaki interference, okay, systematic kind of control. And Orions, again, they're seen as fathers, protectors, guardians, and Orions are vibrating at a very dignified way where they will bring balance real quick. They bring justice wherever they go. They have like an oath. Orion's made like an oath, like almost like a blood oath to serving the highest good of all. Okay, and they kind of brought integrity to what was going on. Okay, but again, we have to make the choice. If the collective is saying, "Oh, I want to worship and the God or whatever, or I want to be work slave," then it will be. We are what we expect, and we are what we put our intention, our energy. Where energy goes, where thoughts go, energy flows. So the Orion came to kind of teach us, I'm hearing defense, teach us skills, teach us warrior, teach us how to, they taught us about discernment, they taught us about manipulation, they taught us about deception, they taught us about illusions, okay? And they also taught us, the Orions are kind of like a secret ally, where they come in and they go out here and there, but when they do come in, very, very empowering. When they come in, it's a major change that happens on this planet, because they don't play no games. They're just as, sort of tight, or I don't want to say tight, but just as like masculine, and they're just as significant leaders. The Orions, they're blue beings, they're tall, they're, white, or they're made of light, blue skin, they have deep, alluring blue eyes. It's very almost intense to look at, like very, very blue, very large, and they are seen in groups. Like they're always seen in groups. Like they always come in groups. Like they work as a collective consciousness, but they work in groups. And they're also known as the Mystic 12. The Orions are known as the Mystic 12. They taught us astrology. They taught us astrology in a more expansive way, in a way that was more helpful to us, I'm hearing. Okay, they're known as the 12, Mystic 12, 12 disciples. They're connected to the Men in Black, the Orions, when it comes to overseeing humans and the evolution of humans. They're known as the Founding Fathers, the Fathers in general. And there's not that many, okay? Orions is not like a huge population. I feel like there's just very few of them. or it's not as what we think is like a whole-blown civilization, all these planets. I feel they're very secret, okay, like a secret society type of vibe. But they are elites, okay, and consider themselves elites in the way that they can consider themselves advanced practitioners, and they consider themselves they've really built up their victory. They've really built up their aura, their arc line, okay? They worked hard for their aura and arc line through many, many thousands, aeons. And they collaborate with Pleiadians in the Intergalactic Confederation, overseeing about humans' development and actually overseeing the manipulation on this planet. Orions really pay attention to the manipulation. And there's different manipulations, or different, it's not all from one group. Again, I'm seeing like reptilian vibe. Okay, they also again bring justice. They're about fairness. They're about justice, fairness. They're about they're about, again, they made an oath to see the highest good of all, and they don't play no games. They're very, very tough. They can deal with very difficult times, very challenging positions, okay? And I think they work a lot with overriding any sort of timeline of destruction. They really try to help us to stay on the right timeline, and they really help us to heal our karma. And they also really help to put leaders in position of power. Okay, they work with power. Again, like Anunnaki, there's something about power. They work with power. They work with that blue energy, so they are very alchemists. I'm seeing medicine, I'm seeing pharmaceutical, I don't know what this is, but I'm seeing some kind of pharmaceutical industry type of, maybe they're watching that, maybe they're wanting to change it, maybe there's something that is unjust with that, there's something that they're wanting to correct, some sort of mistakes. So they really try to help us to make the right choices, okay, and help us to clear away from mistakes that were made because we forget, okay, and we make the same mistakes again and again and again because we have amnesia, okay, and they help us to awaken, okay, they help us to not make the same mistakes. They know of our history, they know of Mars, and I'm seeing nuclear something on Mars, some kind of explosion or something, catastrophe that happened due to humanity's kind of technology. They definitely work with technology. They actually took away our technology, these Orions. They stripped us clean of our technology in the Atlantean times because we were not worthy, we were not deserving, because we still had to evolve and we still had to learn important lessons that we were not learning. So they took away the technology, and they will do that. They will take away the technology, especially if humanity is, repeating the same mistakes. And right now, these Orion beings are really working with us because they're seeing that humanity is actually awakening very quickly, and that humanity and very much may learn its lesson with technology, and will lead humanity into the right direction on its own. So Orions work a lot with humanity becoming leaders on their own. Not worshiping the gods, codependent, begging for the gods, the gods type of thing. They really want humanity to become leaders because Orions are all about, again, fairness, and all about giving humanity a fair chance of becoming leaders and being able to lead their own planet without like being holding hands with their, gotta hold their hand type of thing, right? Gotta hold their hand and because they're too scared, right? Like a child. So Orions, they really, really help us to have leadership. So they really taught us about, the high priestesses, high priestesses that came here, goddesses were from Orion, such as Isis, associated with Orion, and Sirius. Isis, all these goddesses that are connected to ancient Egypt, Africa, Asia, a lot of them are from Orion. A lot of goddess energy, a lot of high priestess energy is Orion. And, the Orion is seen as, I like to say, the twin flame of Anunnaki. In the way that Orion represents Orion represents the dignity, okay, and Anunnaki represents the karmic lessons on integrity. So these are the karmic lessons they've been learning. Dignity is about the divine feminine, okay? Dignity is within yourself. Like Orion beings have such a self-respect. They can't be persuaded, seduced, manipulated. They have such a strong self-respect, and that's their karmic lesson that they've had to learn, through many, many, years and generations and thousands of years. Karmic lesson for Anunnaki is integrity. That's about the masculine. That's about the outward, the way that you treat people, the way that you bring justice to people, the way that you judge people, okay? And their karmic lesson has been about developing integrity, okay, which is about, when it's about recognizing self and other, recognizing that, humans are just as valuable as, any species. They are worthy, right? They're just as godly as what the gods type of thing. And I think that's the kind of some sort of movement with the Orions and the Anunnaki had to do with the integrity of the Anunnaki, which I feel was restored even now. But again, there's some Anunnaki that still support this reptilian agenda that is being broadcasted. I'm seeing being broadcasted to Earth. And again, it has a lot to do with, again, triggering our desperation, triggering our fears, triggering our low self-worth, low self-esteem, and keeping us away from our spiritual growth, keeping us stunned, keeping us stagnant, keeping us, controlled in a way that is actually, preventing us from really raising our vibration, and raising our vibration through the leadership of the Orion beings, the Pleiadian beings, Arcturian beings. The more that we raise our vibration through our own leadership, the more that we're going to be able to, as planet Earth, develop discernment. We need discernment as human beings. The universe is very, expansive. Earth is polarity. We know that. Anunnaki versus Pleiadian is seeming very, there's definitely different types of beings that we're working with, and we as humanity have to develop discernment. I think that's what we've developed over many, many thousand years, and many mistakes and many trials and error and many downfalls, is we have to trust ourselves. So we've been learning, like the Orion beings, we're learning dignity. We're learning that in order to have integrity in our outward world and the way that we relate to each other and create policy and create society and create structure, we have to have dignity. And dignity is about self-respect. It's about, really vibrating the cosmos, recognizing that your power, right? So Orion teaches us about our power, our inner power, not outward power. Anunnaki, they use a lot of the outer power, they did, which is about the big, the big pyramid, the big temple, the big statue, the glorifying, the big castle, or, whatever it is, the kind of outward appeal of power, which is about money, currency, wealth. It's about control. It's about, manipulation, right? And they've done that, they've got the power, they accomplished that. But now there's a sort of life lesson, a karmic lesson about integrity. Okay. And, Orion's teaches inner power. That's the goddess, the high priestess, the goddess, teaches about our inner power. We have inner power. We have power. That's Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga science and technology is from the goddess, taught by the high priestess, the goddess. So when you see a person in their personal, in their personal power, empowerment, motivation, confidence, that is an Orion frequency. Okay, that has a lot to do with you are here on this earth, okay, to lead your destiny. Okay, and it's kind of that Orion taught us about independence. Taught us about, kind of harsh lessons about independence, about, discipline. It's about, self-control. Like Orions came in and saw us like, crazy, burning down the city. It's a free-for-all, sex with whoever, raping, pillaging, and they came in and like, oh no, this is not what we're doing. We're going to make a new choice. So I'm going to create a tough lesson, and you're going to learn it. You got to learn. That's why they're the father. Father comes in, it's like, oh no, this ain't what it's about. We're going to correct the path. We're going to make some new choices, right? So Orion has come in many ways to kind of help us make better choices, okay? And they send frequencies of unconditional love, and they send frequencies of compassion, and they also send frequencies of inspiration, motivation. So Orion's really taught us yogic science and technology, and that's why Orion Belt is very much, it seems to be more emphasized on this planet within, cosmic maps, such as pyramid formation, right? Such as the Giza pyramids and pyramids even in South America. We're thinking even associated with the Mayan people, even other places as well, other pyramids, because Orion actually, they taught us yogic science and technology. They taught us about our power. They taught us about how to use our power to bring about evolution and victory to our human species. They taught us dignity. And that's why, there's humans that really worship that Orion, constellation, Orion Belt, because these beings came in when we were doing whatever fuck shit type of, I'm gonna go, rape and pillage and I don't care. And Orions came in and they came in like real giants, very intimidating, very, very intimidating, kind of like the Anunnaki. And they came in and they said, they almost like gave us a Ten Commandments type of vibe. They showed us our mistakes. They showed us how our higher potential. Okay, because when they showed us that fuck shit reality of do whatever to whoever type of thing creates karma, and they saw how much karma we were creating, and they wanted us to minimize the amount we were creating in the future. So they came in and they showed us what to do with our anger. They showed us what to do with our sadness. They showed us how to transmute that stuff. They told us how to take back our power, right? Like the Moses, like, the light workers, they showed us, light workers have a blue energy. Light worker is when you connect with it, you see a lot of times an indigo blue or a light blue, a Pleiadian blue. Right? A lot of these light workers are Orion beings. And the reason there's association with Anunnaki is because Orion is the dignity of ourselves. And without dignity, we cannot have integrity. Okay, dignity is about your self-respect. If you think lowly of yourself, you're gonna be stupid. Okay? Because, when you think lowly about yourself, or when you think you're not worthy, or that you're less, you're not good enough, you're gonna lose your smarts by 20%. Okay, and when you lose your smarts and you think you're stupid and you're gonna make mistakes and there's karma and then all of that kind of sadness that the Orions don't like to see. So they come in and they show us what to do with our anger, with our sadness, with our suffering, with what's going on the planet. They gave us mantra, they gave us a technology, a soulful technology to help us deal with the karma on our planet. And the karma on our planet is not just with humanity. There's karma with other beings as well, reptilian, Anunnaki, karma even with Pleiadian. It's not just bad, it's good karma as well, right? For all the things that we went through and all of the positive choices we made, we have a lot of good karma, okay? But Ryan works a lot with karma. Clearing the karma, how to clear the karma. Again, they goddesses, high priestesses, they work with, reincarnation. They work with initiation, how to level up, how to have dignity, right? A rite of passage, a manhood, womanhood, a pilgrimage, and a spiritual pilgrimage that gets you to higher levels. They work with ascension. How do you get to higher levels of wealth? How do you ascend to higher levels of self-mastery so that you can get to incarnations where you can be at a cosmic vibration and you can be a master manifester in your lifetime? How do you do that? So Orions, they're secret. They're you don't see them like Anunnaki and like relief sculptures in the Middle East. Orions are secret. They come in, they come out, but when they do come in, again, they really create major shifts. They awaken humanity in such a way that's so freeing, that's so liberating, that really gets humanity back on track when it's in the fuck shit, chaos type of, confusion and self-hate and all that kind of thing. So Orions, they come in like light workers. Orions have the same angel wings as the Anunnaki are depicted. Orions / white light workers have like wings. They're, and the wings represents the Merkaba. The Merkaba that's so defined, that's so mastered, that's reached so many, just levels of wisdom and leadership and learned lesson and yogic science and technology sort of, mastery over many thousands of years of prayer, that they're seen as wings, but it's really just the Merkaba spinning very quickly in a way that has like a sort of velocity, a movement that appears of wings. And the same thing, the Anunnaki have thousands of years of prayer and mantra recitation where they too have a very developed Merkaba. Okay, and that's why Middle East, there's a huge emphasis on like recitation of mantra, recitation of Sanskrit, thousands of years of prayer, thousands of hours of prayer, because they know to build your Merkaba, to build your wings, right? Your wings, right? Which is your Merkaba, you have to have a very strong spiritual practice. You have to use the soul technology that's given to all beings, regardless of Anunnaki, Pleiadian, Arcturian. They all use the same soul technology, just different languages and different sort of expressions the same to ascend. So Orions so generously gave us, I feel, yogic science and technology, a soul technology on how to activate our Merkaba so that we can begin our ascension process as humanity, so we can get out of work slave, I'm used as a cattle, I'm used as just for my energy, I'm in this matrix, suffering, karma, reincarnating aimlessly with ties and confusion and not knowing yourself and feeling completely disconnected from cosmos, to raising your vibration through this soulful technology so that you can become a cosmic being, so that you can ascend to these higher vibrations of knowing how to work yourself through the system of the matrix, how to work yourself through the Merkaba, so that you can manifest your vision on earth. Orion, they want you to manifest your vision on earth. Heaven on earth. Okay, Orions, they want you to be manifestors. And they want you to have dignity when you're doing that, so that earth can have integrity, so that humanity can grow. And humanity as a whole can ascend to, cosmic frequencies, so that humanity can develop its independence, so it can think for itself, and so that it can begin to develop its mission within the cosmos. And Orion view humanity's mission with the cosmos, okay, Orion's mission, okay, humanity's mission with the cosmos is humanity, okay, in its more ascended, sovereign, independent, leadership, warrior, like, saint-like vibration. Humanity represents, we are leaders, okay, or, there are a lot of, again, different variations: leader, teacher, healer, of karma, bringing dharma, Our mission it's the bringing of Dharma. It's the experience of Dharma. It's the creative destiny that is one's Dharma. So our mission is to, you can say, have creative destiny and to share that with each other and to bring creative destiny out into the cosmic regions and to really step into the fullness of where we came from, how mixed we are DNA-wise, genetically wise, with so many geographic intergalactic beings, and how much and how we truly represent a unification on this earth between so many intergalactic beings, between rifts with Anunnaki, Reptilian, Draconian, Lyran, Orion, Pleiadian, Arcturian, all these different beings. We represent the unification. We represent the chance for the union, right? So our mission is the union with ourselves, the union with the cosmos. Union with the cosmos, the creative destiny that we fulfill, okay? And the kind of, when we return to our golden age, our golden energy, right? Like the golden Buddha, what happens is this earth in the golden ages, the 3 golden ages that we've had, Lumerian, Atlantis, and I'm seeing Syrian golden age, these golden ages brought so much expansion to the entire universe, brought so much light and creativity. It was such a healing cosmic event. It was so healing throughout the entire universe. It actually brought so much balance and harmony to this universe just because of our little 3 golden ages that we've had on Earth for, maybe spanning for thousands of years for one, right? Since the times of Mars, with Syrian sort of establishing golden age on Mars, okay, which is Syrian is a feline being connected to the Lyran beings. The Lyran beings are actually very much similar to the Syrian beings, okay, except Syrian beings are vibrating at, the 7th dimension, 8th dimension, 9th dimension, okay. They have a lot to do with experiencing of one's own life force and experience of one's own, I'm hearing joy and tribe, and it has a lot to do with soul family. A lot of Syrian beings, they stay with their soul family, they stay with their pod. It's a lot about soulmates, twin flames. Syrian has a lot to do with soulmate, twin flames. It has a lot to do with learning life lessons within our tribe and having great intimacy within our tribe, playing different roles for each other from life to life, and also about really mastering unity consciousness within the tribe, within our soul family, within our soul group. That brings about so much healing for our soul. When we're with our tribe, our soul group, it brings so much healing for our soul and so much expansion. Okay, so see if there's anything else about the Anunnaki. I was talking about Orion and the Syrian beings, because they're all they've been all, I guess, interacting heavily with each other on Earth throughout this time that I'm mentioning. But I feel that the Anunnaki are very newer. I feel the Orions are much older. They've been here since Mars. The Syrians have been here since Mars. Anunnaki came here with, I'm seeing the tilt of the axis. Okay, so maybe 14,000 years ago. But, their stories of their civilization have been shared. And, Anunnaki also, the stories of kings being, 400 years old, these Anunnakis, yes, been having that within their own planet. But before this kind of the stories of the Anunnaki, the Orion, the goddess, the high priestess, before 14,000 years was more the Orion, right? It was more about the dignity, the Syrian, the tribe. The Syrian represents the tribe, your soul family, your twin flame, your soulmates. People stuck with their soul family. They traveled life to life to learn lessons Their soul family protected them. Their soul family helped them to awaken. But with Anunnaki soul family, people started to split up. They couldn't find each other. They were with the wrong people, scrambled, trying to look for their soul family, their twin flame, their soulmate, and then have all this karma that they have to heal with different people, right? And it was all a part, of the self mastery, right, of Earth. But before that, Orion and Sirian, in this time, way before 14,000 years, when we think of Egypt and Middle East, and pre-dynastic Egypt was a lot about Sirian, Orion type of, you stuck with your tribe. There's a lot of pre-dynastic Egypt about soul family, soulmate, twin flame, learning lessons together, a pod, the dolphin type of vibe, where you get to experience your soul. They are your soul. They're your oversoul. You share soul with them type of thing, right? A huge intimacy with that, huge spiritual, sexual awakening with that really, really helped you to see oneness consciousness, to see your soul is so much more than you. Your soul is connected to the universe, and that you were born out of a tribe, a soul tribe, okay? And, this time before this patriarchal, Anunnaki, had a lot to do with connecting to your cosmic self, your original place in the stars, that you are an angel in the stars. And the Sirian represent beings, feline beings, that taught us, the goddess, the high priestess, and how to connect with your original you, how to connect with the birth of your star, the angel that you are, your wings. Taught us a lot about the grace of God, taught us a lot about divinity, taught us a lot about, just our fulfillment. So before this Anunnaki time with the Sirian and the Orion, there was a lot of fulfillment because we were with our, we were original to our soul. We were cosmic, we were authentic, because we didn't have these type of fears that was programmed into us because of when the golden age fell and we were in this period of dark, and then we found our way, repopulated, whatever. We were very vulnerable. So we were very susceptible to these Anunnaki programs. And they're not all bad, Power is not bad. It's just you have to have dignity. And that's the thing that was forgotten, is you have to have self-dignity, or your integrity will be wanky and there's going to be karma within that wanky integrity that you will have, okay? So it's just there was a missing life lesson that wasn't learned, which was dignity, the Orion. But the goddess and the high priestess, taught us dignity. Taught us, dignity comes from, really taking care of your tribe, really taking care of yourself, loving yourself, blessing yourself, having a ritual with your body, your mind, your spirit. So spirituality for the goddess, the high priestess, is not organized religion for the king's agenda, or the elite's agenda, or propaganda, right? It was about you and blessing you learning from your tribe, you loving your tribe, you feeling good because you're taking care of yourself, because you're loving yourself, you're vibrating, you're meditating, you're channeling, you're dancing, you're singing, you're learning from your tribe, the science of the universe. Your tribe was why in this golden, 3 golden ages, we were able to create lineages on this planet that could obtain generational wealth, so much so that they had such a strong tribal generational wealth because they were with the right people, right? Their original soul team that brought so much good luck, so much karma clearing, so much abundance, that they were able to hold a 5th dimension for this earth, which is the golden age. These lineages of true tribal, soulful, dignity and integrity, prosperity, before this, dynastic Egypt type of cheat your way to get what you want, kill the king, fighting to be king. Before that, there was a huge lineages created that generational wealth. And then a lot of them, that was the golden age. It was a 5th dimensional Atlantis Lemuria. And it was not about this, it was not competitive like in the patriarchal age that we've been in. It was more, there was warrior training, but there was more Pleiadian vibe. These three golden ages were very more Pleiadian, Orion, and Sirian vibe. We've never really had a golden age on the Anunnaki. In the Egyptian period, it does not count. That is not a golden age. We are advanced, yes, but that was not a golden age. Okay, the golden ages, the Syrian golden ages happened in Africa. The Syrian golden age, Lemuria, Antarctica in a different position, continental position. The earliest golden age, and then Atlantis, I feel, happened more in the Middle East, somewhere in that whole geographic region. Okay, but also Atlantis was integrated in even Spain, Asia, even South America. Okay, so it's not just one geographic place. But before we actually have ascended to fifth dimension, seventh dimension vibration on this planet. It was because of the Orion dignity, the Syrian type of nobility we had, and not, it wasn't a fake, it wasn't superficial, it wasn't like a power seeking, lack of integrity type of thing. It was very much through our Pleiadian guidance, and through really developing a really strong soulful vibration, really strong higher mind, and really developing that through the soul technology of the Merkaba, we were able to really successfully sustain three golden ages on this planet, because the lineages that held that had this cosmic vibration that was very, very strong, that were like human / Orion / human Syrian, human / Pleiadian type of vibe, were able to really, really hold that down for humanity. And humanity really, really benefited from that. And humanity really stepped into technology age. But these three golden ages, the technology age, had more, we've had the issue with technology, okay, where we've made mistakes with technology, and the Ryans have been trying to help us make better choices, because we have kind of wiped ourselves out in Mars with our technology, which is a completely different history book, really. But our technology we've been very adolescent with it. It's like a teenager on social media. Like, they don't know any better. They get addicted. They get obsessed. They want everything. They just manipulate it. Like, they don't have the right, their brain isn't even fully developed to really understand what they're putting into their brain and how addicted they're getting. And we had that. We were like adolescent, with technology. We had no idea. Like, we were just frazzled and fried by it, not even realizing that we were just very imbalanced with that technology. We didn't know how to balance it out because we weren't mature enough at that time. But now we are, and we're getting there, okay? Because we've been around the block a couple times, and this fourth golden age that's projected from the Pleiadian agenda, which has been the longest standing agenda on this planet. Reptilian, Anunnaki is not the longest standing agendas. Pleiadian is the longest standing agenda since the time of Mars, and Sirian is also in ally with Pleiadian. The Sirian also have the same agenda for humans. Again, the goddess. Sirian is seen as the Black Madonna. Sirian is seen as the black women of Africa, the high priestesses, the goddesses, okay? And they're also seen as, same high priestess goddesses of South America, the same high priestess goddesses of North America with the Native Americans, okay? They're seen as these shamanistic, tribal beings who can shapeshift, who can travel the cosmos through their consciousness, okay? They're seen as like indigenous people, but, they may be basic, But their mind, their shamanistic mind is very, very speed of light. They're very, very they can be deceivingly bright. Okay? And the Syrian people are black, or the beings are black. Okay? They're like black feline beings. Okay? And they've come in many ways in the pre-dynastic Egypt, before the patriarchal age, in the last golden age, which is the Syrian golden age. And they came as goddesses, high priestesses, in tribal elder system. Okay, Merkaba system, not matrix, not pyramid, Merkaba. Okay, Merkaba. And they came to experience the Merkaba in the physical, and they came as humans. They came as actually incarnated as human beings to help humans transition, okay, into the golden age. That was the last one we had, okay? And they did that through the soul technology they had with the Merkaba, the spirituality that they possess, okay, the dignity that they possess, that really created wealth and prosperity. And through the lineage and through the soul family that they had, they were very strong. They were very powerful. And that's the one thing that was dismantled in the patriarchal age, was the tribe. As long as people are confused, and as long as people are not with the right people, as long as people don't feel tribe and they're not with their soul family, and they're caught in these karmic ties, they're never going to be able to gain the lineage power, the tribal power, okay? Dignity, internal self-mastery power, to really rise into the fifth dimensional wealth of themselves. Okay, so Syrians, they taught about true wealth is in your lineage, it's in your soul tribe, it's in your team, it's in who is around you. Okay, it's not just about you. Okay, it's not just about you. Okay, it's about your team, your people around you. It is team, your soul family, your tribe. So in this last golden age, we were incarnated with our tribe many, many lifetimes, okay? And we brought so much prosperity and victory and creativity because of that. We played different roles. We played, helped each other learn different lessons, educate each other in different ways. But in the patriarchal age, all of that, we were separated. We were seeming forced into these karmic ties. We didn't know how to learn our lessons. We had amnesia. We had done lifetimes. We kept reincarnating again and again, confused, fear, doubt. Where's my family? Where's my team? That kind of thing. And that's why we got weaker as humanity. That's why we lost our discernment, our dignity, because we didn't have our tribe to really awaken us. So that's a little bit of the Syrian beings. But yes, these Anunnaki in this channel are very much connected to all of, they're all in this they've all been watching each other, and they've all been checking each other. I see the checks and balances. So Anunnaki and Orion and Sirian, they've been doing checks and balances on Earth for thousands, millions of years. So that, everybody checks each other. Orion's a check Anunnaki. Anunnaki check Syrians. There's just checks and balances. And all these beings, they appreciate it because they know that you need to be checked. Sometimes people need to be checked, okay? And what's going on is, even right now, with reptilian agenda, they're being checked. People are being checked. Elites are being checked. People are being checked by higher dimensional beings because of, the sovereignty of the human soul. It needs to be protected, okay? Because we're vulnerable. We are very weak emotionally and spiritually because of we've been in a patriarchal age that separated us from our people, from our soul. You know what I'm saying? So we're very vulnerable. We can be very desperate. So, we need to be protected, because when you're desperate, you'll do anything. You'll listen to whoever. You'll throw discernment out the window for a cheap buck. And, when there, we have to be protected, and we have, we need this soul technology to be able to not get in those traps, those traps that are, a part of a matrix system, okay, that really has nothing to do with spiritual and emotional growth, okay, that has just to do with basically the extinction of human being and the repopulation and an agenda for continuing as work slave. But does that go anywhere? No. All it is to create endless karma, war, suffering. So that's why, Orions are like guardians. They protect us. They protect us from ourselves. They protect us so we can fulfill our destiny, so we can have the will, the divinity to be able to make the best choice. Okay, when all around us making choices for fuck shit reality, we can make the best choice for our liberty, for our sovereignty, at least for our soul. Okay, at least for the ascension of our own soul. So Orion's really taught us courage. Okay, because a lot of things we've done in the patriarchal age required courage, because that work slave thing really, really made us so seeming powerless and weak. Okay, so again, they're like a warrior training that happened when they're, Orion's helped us in that way, okay? And the Anunnaki, in many ways, similar. Like I said, I feel like the Orion and the Anunnaki have a kind of like twin flames type of vibe, type of, situation. So these are just the beings I wanted to channel for our intergalactic sort of understanding